there's a story you probably remember. Maybe it's the smell, floor wax, popcorn, and something uniquely Kmart. Maybe it's the famous blue light special. A flashing blue light, an announcement over the loudspeaker, and suddenly shoppers were rushing toward a discount like it was a major event. For millions of Americans, Kmart wasn't just a store. It was the store. At its peak, Kmart operated more than 2,300 stores across America. Bigger than Target. Billions in annual sales. Today, fewer than a dozen locations remain open. So what happened? How does a company that seemed untouchable lose everything? This is the story of how Kmart had every advantage imaginable and still managed to lose the future. The king of discount retail. To understand Kmart's collapse, we need to go back to 1962. It was one of the most important years in retail history. 3 discount chains opened that year: Kmart, Target, and Walmart. At the time, Kmart looked like the obvious winner. The company behind it, S.S. Kresge, had been in retail for decades. It had experience, capital, established locations, and a recognizable name. While Walmart was opening stores in small rural towns, Kmart was rapidly expanding across America. Large stores, low prices, huge selection. By the 1970s and 1980s, Kmart had become a retail powerhouse. A Saturday shopping trip became part of family life. The blue light special became a cultural icon. And because Kmart succeeded so early, it developed something that often becomes dangerous for large organizations: confidence. The belief that what worked yesterday would continue working tomorrow. The competitor nobody took seriously enough. While Kmart was dominating retail, Sam Walton was paying close attention. Walton studied competitors obsessively, and Kmart was one of his biggest sources of inspiration. But he focused on something Kmart largely ignored: the supply chain. Warehouses aren't exciting. Distribution centers don't appear in commercials. Customers never walk into a store thinking about logistics. But retail isn't won by what customers notice. It's often won by what they don't. Walmart invested heavily in technology, inventory management, and distribution networks. Products moved faster. Shelves stayed stocked. Costs stayed lower. Kmart, meanwhile, continued operating with systems that increasingly felt outdated. And eventually, customers started noticing the consequences: empty shelves, long checkout lines, frustration. While Walmart was building an invisible machine behind the scenes, Kmart was still relying on the strength of its brand. And slowly, that stopped being enough. The mistake that changed everything. By the 1990s, the warning signs were becoming difficult to ignore. Walmart was growing rapidly. Competition was intensifying. Customers were changing. Kmart had a choice: invest heavily in its operations or look for growth elsewhere. Management chose the second option. Instead of fixing its core business, Kmart launched an aggressive acquisition strategy. The company bought Sports Authority, Borders Books, OfficeMax, and Builders Square. The idea seemed logical. A larger retail empire would create more opportunities and reduce risk. Instead, it created confusion. Management attention became divided. Resources were spread across multiple businesses. Meanwhile, the stores that made Kmart successful in the first place continued falling behind. While Kmart was busy acquiring new businesses, Walmart kept improving the machine that was already pulling customers away. From the outside, the company looked bigger than ever. Inside, the foundation was beginning to crack. The stores stopped improving. One of the biggest problems wasn't visible in financial statements. It was visible the moment customers walked through the door. Retail is detail. Lighting matters. Organization matters. Cleanliness matters. Throughout the 1990s, many Kmart stores began showing signs of neglect. Aisles felt cluttered. Interiors looked outdated. Popular products were frequently unavailable. Some locations felt frozen in another decade while competitors kept moving forward. Customers might not have been able to explain why Walmart felt better, but they could feel it. The shelves were stocked. The experience was easier. And once shopping habits change, winning customers back becomes incredibly difficult. Stuck in the middle. And as the stores deteriorated, Kmart faced an even deeper problem. It lost its identity. Walmart had a clear lane, the lowest prices, period. Target carved out its own space too. Affordable style, cleaner stores, a shopping experience that felt a step above discount. Customers knew exactly why they chose each one. Kmart increasingly struggled to give customers a reason to choose it at all. It wasn't the cheapest. It wasn't the most stylish. It wasn't the most efficient. It sat uncomfortably between two competitors who had each claimed a clear position in the customer's mind. The collapse. In 2002, reality finally caught up with the company. Kmart filed for bankruptcy, at the time, the largest retail bankruptcy in American history. A company that had once seemed permanent was suddenly fighting for survival. Then came a move that sounded promising on paper. In 2005, Kmart merged with Sears, two iconic American retailers joining forces. But critics pointed out the obvious. Combining two struggling companies doesn't create a healthy one. It creates a larger struggling company. Two sinking ships don't keep each other afloat. The merger solved nothing. Stores kept aging. E-commerce accelerated. By 2018, Sears Holdings filed for bankruptcy again, effectively ending the company as a national retailer. What Kmart really teaches us. Kmart lost because it confused familiarity with permanence. It had loyal customers and assumed they would never leave. It had scale and assumed scale alone created strength. It had time and wasted it. Meanwhile, Walmart focused on the things customers never noticed. Distribution, inventory, efficiency, the invisible systems that determine whether a product is on the shelf at the right price when someone needs it. Kmart focused on the blue light. Walmart focused on the supply chain. The blue light was more exciting. The supply chain won. Kmart spent decades building a retail empire. Walmart spent decades building a machine. In the end, the machine won. If you want to keep exploring the stories of companies, cities, and empires that rose, fell, and changed the world, like and subscribe.